eat my dinner. This is the archives. 3.0 audio archives. I don't know. Something different. I'm just going to put Chernobyl on. There's nothing on. I'm just going to put Chernobyl on. There we go. There's nothing else on TV, so I don't know, right? Yeah, okay. I mean, it's gone now. I mean, it's been 30 years and we took care of the problem now.
Friday the 25th of April, 1986. A beautiful spring day for 43,000 inhabitants of in Ukraine. A day that will remain forever engraved in their memory.
Hey guys, he's having dinner, and who knows what to do. Thinking about it. Actually, it works great because it's see-through now. You see me how I eat.
The 176 employees of Block 4 have been ordered to carry out a test on a self-fueling system for the reactor, something that could save energy. At 1:23 a.m., the security systems are deactivated and the experiment begins. A series of detonations go off in the core of the reactor. While Pripyat sleeps peacefully, the floor of the plant begins to tremble. The 1,200-ton cover of the reactor suddenly blasts into the air. An ultra-powerful stream of radioactive vapor releases uranium and graphite over hundreds of meters around the plant. From the gaping hole, a spray of fire charged with radioactive particles in fusion shoots 1,000 meters into the sky. There were a lot of colors. And they were really bright, sporty, red, sky, colors like blood, a rainbow. It was a beautiful. The most serious nuclear accident in history has just taken place. During the night, early in the morning,
Gorbachev.
I got a call around 5 a.m. I was told there'd been some accident at the Chernobyl nuclear plant. The first firemen on the scene battled the fire without the adequate protective gear. They poured tons of water on this strange fire, but nothing seems capable of putting it out. They are all exposed to lethal doses of radiation. 2 men died that night. 28 more will follow in the next few months. They are the first victims of Chernobyl. Nobody was prepared for such a crisis. For the next 7 months, 500,000 men will wage hand-to-hand combat with an invisible enemy. A ruthless battle that has gone unsung, which claimed thousands of unnamed and now almost forgotten heroes. Yet, it is thanks to these men that the worst was avoided. A second explosion, 10 times more powerful than Hiroshima, which would have wiped out half of Europe. This was kept secret for 20 years by the Soviets and the West alike. Many of these images have never been seen before. They were taken by journalists who were also exposed to nuclear contamination, some of whom later died. Those images tell the story of a hidden war, whose consequences continue 20 years later to worsen the toll of the disaster. This is the true story of the Battle of Chernobyl. clouds are already being contaminated by the radioactive column, rising 1,000 meters into the sky. Igor Kostin was a photographer with a news agency in Novosti. When a friend and helicopter pilot phones in that morning to offer to fly him over Chernobyl, all Kostin knows is that something has happened at the plant during the night. He is the first journalist to witness the gate of war.
When we got close to block 4 and circled around it, I had no idea of the reason. When we flew over the block, I opened the window of the helicopter. I didn't realize then what a big mistake that was.
The thin, translucent smoky seeds rising from the ruins is in fact highly radioactive. Kostin is one of the few Chernobyl reporters on the scene in the early hours of the accident to have survived serious exposure to radiation.
When I opened the window, I couldn't hear a thing. The ruins of the reactor were below me. I felt like I was floating in space, like in a tomb. A real dead silence. I couldn't even hear the helicopter anymore. Nothing. A black hole. A tomb and deathly silence.
This is the first picture ever taken of the breach.
All my equipment jumped after a minute. I couldn't understand what was going on. I thought my batteries were dead. I only managed to take 1,000 photos. Once I returned to Kiev, I processed my pictures, and I noticed the negatives were black, and the colors very poor. I didn't know it yet, but the photos had been exposed to radioactivity.
At the core of a blown-out reactor and buried under 14 meters of rubble, the graphite surrounding the nuclear fuel burns and melts the uranium. The radioactive fallout is going to be 100 times greater than the combined power of the 2 atomic bombs dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. At the Kremlin, 8 hours after the explosion, Gorbachev only has scant information on the situation.
The first information consisted of an accident and fire. Not a word about an explosion. At first, I was told there hadn't been an explosion. The consequences of such false information are particularly dramatic.
For Pripyat's 43,000 inhabitants, life goes on as usual. They know nothing of the disaster 3 kilometers away.
The information we got was that everything was sound, including the reactor. When I asked the academician Alexander, he told me the reactor was absolutely safe. It could even be set up on a red square. It wouldn't be any different than a samovar, like putting a kettle on red square.
There are rumors in the town of a fire at the plant and deaths in the night, but no official information has been released. The white flashes on these images are the results of radioactivity on the film. People in the streets hardly blink an eye at the masked soldiers scattered throughout the city. Colonel Brevenuk led the troops in charge of controlling the situation.
It was a metallic taste in my mouth. Acidity. They say radiation has no taste. Only later we realized with the taste of radioactive iodine.
While children were still out playing in the squares, Colonel Duke's men spent the day taking photographs of radioactivity in the city. Those days, radioactivity was measured in units of rontgens. Normal atmospheric level was about 12 units of a rontgen. In Pripyat, by early afternoon, readings are already over 200.
I gotta write down some numbers. I need to write down numbers real quick.
15,000.
Fucking. I have to do some work now, guys. The video's uploaded. That's it.